To begin with, we're meeting as a local board of equalization. And Jamie, do you want to start out?
I can just, yeah.
Yes.
I provided you all with preliminary abstract numbers that can be utilized for budgeting purposes, evaluations for the entire city of Miller, as well as the growth from building permit reviews.
Do you want to, first of all, do you want to explain the change of how we're doing this as far as us doing this as the
Okay.
city council?
Sure.
And go from there.
So we used to sit and have everybody, not everyone, we had a consolidated board where the city of St. Lawrence, the city of Miller, the Miller School District was able to come and sit together when we have our county board of equalization. This allows constituents, property owners to come to you almost a month ahead of that meeting. Because technically, if they have an appeal about their valuation on their property, they would have to have appealed to the local board first. And then those were due on Thursday, March 12th. So if they have a problem, if they think their valuation is too high, if they think the classification of how their property is being valued, they would then bring that to you as a local board. And I understand that you guys, it's kind of an anomaly for you. You're looking at that and there's a lot of different abstract codes on there and you're like, I don't even know what NAA1 means. It's a non-A building. So anyway, so you guys will sit, they can come, they can bring your appeals. If you had some appeals to review, you could do that. I'm not aware of any. Cindy and I had a couple phone calls. As of today, we have not received, or Cindy has not received from our conversation this afternoon. You haven't received any forms of appeal. The only thing that I do have, so I'm sorry, I should back up. So that's kind of why we're meeting, so you guys can meet now, instead of us all doing it the same night, and that's the second Tuesday of April, when we meet for that. Does that kind of clarify that a
But
little bit?
you're still gonna meet,
We still have to meet as the county board. So let's just say hypothetically you had an appeal tonight and you guys reviewed it and you're like, we have no idea if they're right or wrong. You as a board, you would say, we are going to deny your appeal, and then that property owner would then have to bring that to the county board and appeal it to the county board. But they firstly have to appeal to any local board. That's throughout the whole county. We have all of the townships that get appeals, they have their local boards this week as well. Okay? So now you guys are just serving that instead of doing it along with us. Okay? Does that answer that?
yes, but the thing of it is, what basis do we have to either grant or deny the appeal?
You guys can look at it. I mean, it's a hat that you would have to put on. And just knowing, I mean, you yourself, we all kind of know markets. If you look at somebody's thing and you're thinking, well, I think Jamie's a little out of line on this valuation too. Or we think that it should be higher because we feel like we should be getting more tax dollars from that commercial building or anything like that, if I'm making sense.
Mm-hmm.
You guys feel like the tax money that you're not getting from somebody should be higher because their valuation isn't high enough. You guys yourself could be like, we look through the book and we're like, I don't know, we think that, tell me why, like, I'm gonna use Dale and Susan, why their house, which looks a lot like so-and-so's house, why are their values different? And explain that to me. So, does that kind of help
Yes.
you understand that? Okay.
I want a follow-up question. So
Okay.
if, let's say the council or the Board of Equalization here denies it, can they appeal it then to you?
Yes, that's the next
Okay,
process,
all
but they
right.
have to do it through you first, and then whatever your decision is, if you guys go ahead and say, yeah, we agree, so me as the director of equalization has the opportunity to appeal your decision. I can say, the City of Miller Equalization Board, I'm appealing their decision. I do not agree, and then I would bring my facts to you and say why I don't agree.
Okay,
Okay? It's a process. smaller communities like ours don't see like the bigger cities and stuff. Like they see hundreds of these a year. Luckily, you know, we don't. And if I'm wrong, if something is wrong, I definitely want to correct that. I just want to put that out there. If there is definite a value that's not correct, I want to fix it. Okay? All right. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any.
Okay. All right, and so the only thing that I need for it to be in your minutes, I had a constituent come in today for owner occupancy. Karen Rose owns a home at 220 East 9th Street. She has a California address, but she has gotten owner occupancy on this home since 2021. And so it's hard for me to explain because I'm not driving around and checking to see if you're living in your home. It's not, I'm not checking beds. It's kind of our joke that we say. I'm not going in the house and being like, well, are you sleeping in your house? And so we got a notice of her address change when we mailed out her assessment notice. And so when that happened, we then changed it and sent her a notification that we were gonna remove the owner occupied. She came in, explained that the mail kind of messed up, because that is really her permanent address that she's using. So I'm giving it back to her and putting that back on. Okay,
Okay.
so I just have that here for you. You can put
How
that
do
in.
you determine that?
Yes, that's what my,
Okay.
Because
so-
I know they do have a home in California.
Yes, they do. Okay. So we are told or that we are not supposed to worry about whether or not they own a home outside of the state. My concern is that she doesn't have a house in Spearfish, South Dakota, and
So
she's
she's
getting
getting
owner
two.
occupied. You can only get one in the state of South Dakota.
Okay.
It gets a little bit tricky for voter registry and all that kind of stuff, because they kind of tie together a little bit. But technically, when you sign that form, you say that this is my owner occupied house, this is the one I want to claim as my owner occupied home in South Dakota. There is I think that, I don't know if it's a felony, there's a felony if you're lying, basically. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not checking beds. I don't know if she's living in that house 2 months out of the year, 6 months out of the year. She's telling me that that's what she has. I've confirmed she doesn't have it throughout the rest of the state.
Well, I'm sure she's using it as a residence, or claiming it as a residence, because if you're in California, you're paying income tax.
Correct.
And if you're retired, you don't
Right.
want to have your
Right.
stuff taxed, so I
Right.
know other people that are
Yeah,
living.
but does that
actually
kind of
living.
answer that for you a little
Yep.
bit, Dale? Okay.
We have
I'm
a,
just concerned that she's
pers-
just getting one.
is there a percentage of the year that we think is an appropriate amount to reside in a residence for that?
They
year?
say it between 4 and 6 months, yeah. So like, in our zoning, I'm gonna use an example in our zoning ordinance, we have like, if somebody wants to put up a CAFO in the country, which is a confined animal, if you guys don't know what that is, so the people that live within the 2-mile radius, if they are considered a resident, now resident is completely different than a person that owns a property. Because within that 2 miles, you might be renting, or you might be somebody's hired man living in one of their homes. But you have a right to say, I don't want a CAFO. So, but in our ordinance, it does say that they should have residency for 6 months. Owner occupied, it's probably the most talked about status and problem maker throughout the state. I know that you guys probably heard all of it on the news. People are complaining about how high owner occupied taxes are, especially in bigger towns and bigger cities. The market is just showing that unfortunately, people are paying big dollar amounts for homes, but as far as that goes, does that kind of, I mean, yeah, so I would say 6 months would be a good number to use, but, because they want to account for, the winter travel, people that go to Arizona or California.
It seems
Your
logical if you're
snowbirds.
gonna refer to it as your primary residence or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
You would be here
Right,
at a
'cause-
minimum half of the year.
Right. So, okay, I hope I answered all the questions. I feel like I'm on the,
That's a whole different
Is it different,
conversation.
Jamie, so, you have to have a dwelling, you have to have
Yes.
something on that to have
Yes.
owner occupancy.
correct, you have to have a residential, single-family dwelling, or, yes.
I was just curious about the lots and people using them. and
Okay,
making-
so like, that's a whole nother thing. So like, let's say, I don't know if I can use anybody in here, but some people own like a bare lot right next to their owner occupied home. Patrick, you do, yes.
Yes.
So that bare lot the land is all considered owner occupied, okay? If you owned a bare lot across town, it's not contiguous to your property, you can't call that one owner occupied. Okay?
Well.
Anything else?
No, so the thing of it is, and I'm just gonna have you reiterate, is the fact that it's not up to you to determine as long as the owner said they occupied, it's not up to you to determine if
Right.
correct or not.
The only confirmation that I do is I make sure that that person is not getting it somewhere else within the state of South Dakota,
Okay, all right.
okay?
Well, and that's good to know too with regard to what Councilman Jones asked you, because I know I have a lot that has a mailbox that's across the street from me that is.
Yes, and they did try to, yeah,
It's not occupied, it's
it
still.
is not occupied
It's still a
and
lot.
it is just a lot with a mailbox. Just because you have that lot with a mailbox does not mean that you can register to vote in Heian County,
Yeah,
just so you know.
okay, well, and I appreciate that
Yes.
because that's,
Yeah,
well, good enough.
there are
Okay.
people trying to do that kind of stuff,
Wow.
so,
Good, there's laws in place to
I
prevent
guess
that.
I'd say if we don't have anything of any appeals in front of us right now, I'd move to close the city's Board of Equalization meeting and move it up to the county level.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion is made to adjourn as a local board of equalization. All discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Thank you.
yep.
So then
Okay,
we move into the meeting or no?
To approve tonight's agenda, there are a couple of additions. Royce Blackburn at 210 East Third Avenue has a building permit for a fence. And Doug and Linda DeBoer at 419 East Second Avenue to install a shed. Okay. And with that addition, without objection, we could switch number 1 and 2 around, because unless Jamie and Brooke wanted to stick around and listen to the utility billing. Okay, so we'll switch just switch the new business, turn them around, and we'll go with the special event liquor license and then take the number 1 and move that afterwards. So,
Okay.
thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thanks.
Okay, so with those additions and changes, I'd entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Public input.
We had approved.
Oh, approve the minutes, thank you. Approve the minutes are on page 1, 2, and 3 from the council of March 2nd. Thank you very much for that.
Make a motion to approve the minutes. Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion is made and second to approve the minutes from March 2nd. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Now, public input. Hearing none, we will proceed to new business, the special event liquor license, On Hand Development Corporation's Diamonds and Denim event with wine tasting at the community center on March 28th of this year. Do you want to say anything on that behalf? Yes, no?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
So
So yes, like you said, we're here to have our special event license approved for next Saturday, March 28th. We hope to have everybody come out and support our new fundraiser, Diamonds in Denim. And this year, our beneficiary is Miller Needs a Pool. The doors open at 5. Supper is served at 6:30. Wine tasting will be starting at 5. The bar will be open at 5. Everything will just kind of flow throughout the evening. The live auction will start at 9. And then right before that, we will select the winners of the silent auction and the raffle baskets. So
Okay.
please support us next Saturday, March 28th.
Okay. Any questions for Jensen?
Thank
Okay.
you for
Yes,
putting
thank
this
you.
on,
Yeah,
on behalf of the city pool.
yes,
You're welcome.
thank you. Okay, with that, entertain a motion to approve the Diamond and Denim event with the wine tasting at the community center on March 28th of 26.
So moved.
Second?
Discussion?
What about the fee?
Do you want to do the,
Were we gonna waive that $50 fee?
Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
so,
thank you. With the addition of waiving the $50 fee, okay? Motion made and second to approve the Diamonds and Denim event and waiver of the $50 fee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Second item on that, thank you very much.
thank you.
Second item on that event was Willie Bar and Grill Diamond and Denim event, cash bar at the community center on the same night, March 28th. And we'd entertain, with that motion we'd waive the fee there too as well.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion made and second to approve Willie's Bar and Grill for the cash bar event at the Diamonds and Denim on the 28th of March with waiver of the $50 fee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Building permits.
Building permits. How you feeling?
I'm here. Good.
For the record, you better take care of yourself and stuff, so, okay.
All right, well, I kind of pushed these through. I don't think I'll be at the next meeting. I mean, these did come in today, not to try to get any through, but I wanted to talk about them a little bit. I'll start with Doug's here, with DeBoer's. That's a pretty easy one. So there's already existing shed there, and it's kind of that 10 by 10 and smaller, but there is a pad there, and this thing really isn't anchored or anything. So I did sign off on this one, even though it's within that lot line, too close to the lot line, like you'd think you'd need a variance. There's already existing one there, so to me, I should be able to do that. So I wanted to throw that one out there unless anybody's got any objections on that.
So he's gonna take the old one down and put the new one right there?
Yeah, they have actually already slid that other one, and there is a cement pad there right where that one was sitting. And like I said, it's right there borderline. I mean, he could even make it smaller and not worry about it, but it's gonna be sitting there. And if, you can't really see it on the, Google Maps, cause there's too many trees, but, I mean, it's not like it's fixed. It really became a problem down the road, which I don't see it being. In that area, everything is kind of, every resident has got a piece of, an item on that block, I'll say, that is kind of shifted to the south, including that garage there that you see. That's just right there within that 6 foot, but, so anyways, I guess I wanted to throw that one out there. If you want to do these separate, that'd be fine. I don't,
Okay,
you guys got any questions?
Make a motion to approve DeBoer's building permit.
Second.
discussion. Hearing none, motion is made a second to approve the building permit for Doug and Linda DeBoer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Okay. So this other one, I didn't sign off on it yet. I just wanna be upfront. So, can you, yeah, I'll wait until you pull it up. Try to talk about this one a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, not a great picture, but this fence he's wanting to put in goes right here, and you can see bushes have been there forever. Now my problem with this was for me to sign off on it. He's coming out here where he's at, he's not 20 foot off the right of way. But he's not going past this neighbor here, which I think they got a variance at one time. But then as he's got this all cleaned up now, there's also another garage over here, right here. And I didn't realize how even they actually were. And he's not protruding out any farther than them. And I got a transformer here. I would say this kind of falls into that where he's kind of grandfathered in, where he's not really going past anything. It's not obstructing anything. It's not over by the alley. This is his driveway, by the way. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. He's gonna have a nice fence, what do you call it? Where, you know, you stagger back and forth. I mean, he does a nice job anyways, so.
So you have
So
a,
I guess what I was saying is, by rights, I mean, could ask for a variance, but like I said, he's kind of grandfathered because he's not going past anything. That was another kind of a goofy block, I guess, in a way, the way it's set up. But he won't be past either one of these houses or garages.
I don't wanna speak for the council, but it kinda seems like that's kinda just been the status quo of as long as it's not
Right.
pushing. If you're the first one past a line, then we're gonna
Yeah.
be different, but it kinda seems like it's,
okay, so we're not establishing any precedent or anything of that sort moving forward?
No,
with
and that
regard to
was,
that?
I mean, that was kind of my thing. I mean, I could have signed off on it, but I wanted you guys to have the understanding of what, I don't sign off on anything if I feel like I'm not following what our guidelines. And so I wanted to talk about that one a little bit further.
We appreciate that, yeah, absolutely.
we've done it for fences in the past, even if it was just trees on corners and stuff like that, so.
Well, these bushes actually came out here farther than where his fence is gonna be. The fence will still be back here, so.
And it's in the middle of the block, it's not a corner.
Yep.
I'm personally fine with it, I guess. I'd make a motion to approve Royce's building permit.
Discussion? Hearing none, motion is made and second to approve Royce Blackburn's building permit for a fence. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Cool, thank you.
Thank you, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Okay, go back up to the item as far as delinquent utility billing accounts. I know we had a utility meeting. I gained a great deal of insight just with regard to, you know, information, you know, or added to what was known, but anyway. Basically, what we're looking for is, you know, open discussion up as far as, and I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the concern we had here is it relates to delinquent accounts under our present, correct me if I'm wrong, our present way of billing, they can be 2 or 3 months behind
They can get up to 3 months behind on usage. That's, yeah.
before they're
But they haven't
delinquent.
paid.
Yeah, so in order to, the discussion was to move the billing cycle up so they're not as far as behind as we have some that have been. We do have quite a sizable amount of outstanding accounts that have been turned over to collection. And, you know, granted, that has spanned over a course of how many years, would you say, Cindy?
It's 2012, I believe,
2012?
12 or 14.
We have some older ones in there.
So-
Actually,
That-
we
Yeah.
That'd be
kind of
hard to
decided to not change the billing cycle or move the billing cycle up at all.
It was
Just
just,
the shut off date.
Yeah, just the shut-off date.
it was
It's clear
dis-
they were not changing
Okay,
a billing cycle.
it was discussed, and it seemed like it was a lot of messing around with the masses in order to solve the minority.
yeah, and it would take a I mean, everybody's kind of locked into when they pay right now. They know when they get the bill, they know when they pay, and things of this sort. Okay,
But we did talk about, like it was itemized there, of moving up the shut-off day to 7 days beyond the delinquent date, which is already, the delinquent day is already a month after the usage month. So month one, your shut-off day was on the first of month three. We're moving it back to a week after the 15th of month two.
So it's moving 1 week, basically.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Basically, we're just shutting people's utilities off 2 weeks sooner if they're that far behind on their bills.
That's what was discussed in the committee meet, but we don't have any recommendation. It seemed like that was a good thought, but we wanted to bring it out to council because this is kind of a full council discussion on a few different line items. So we would have to rewrite policy or just change procedure?
It would require an ordinance.
Okay, so that one we'd have to draw up an ordinance. If everybody has any, to start with, anybody have any opinions about moving the start day up? Or the shut-off day up?
I think, if you're gonna move it up, I think personally, I think it's a good idea, and instead of letting it snowball and, increase the amount that's due. The higher amount,
agree.
seems like it's harder to pay, harder to collect, so
Yeah, it's only making the bill bigger by
Yep.
letting them go.
I agree.
A lot of people use that shut-off day as a final reminder to pay their bill when it
Yep.
really shouldn't be.
yeah.
So like how far, if we move that back, how far are they delinquent? Like how long?
Probably 7 days.
Right, instead
Oh,
of,
7 days?
yeah.
7 days instead of 14.
And that's
or
just
more.
on January's usage,
Okay.
while the the meters continued to run after January. I use January as
So
an
they'd have
example.
another month of usage already on top of what they're
It's
delinquent
essentially
on for 7
45
days?
days. Isn't it? I mean, really, from the time of the consumption on the bill that isn't being paid.
Yeah, it's the first 30 days, and then it's another 15 days for the
Yep.
second month, and then we're finally shutting it off a week after that, so it's
not
up to
quite.
50 days,
Yeah.
51 days,
Yeah.
depending on the week lengths and the month lengths.
I have no problem with moving that up to shut them off a couple weeks ahead of time.
And when we had this meeting, we had Terry was in here, Cindy was in here, Dustin was in here. So, reviewed it.
So we can make note that maybe we'll write up that ordinance and bring it up to the next meeting. That'll be the first part. That's
Yep.
probably what we figured would be the easier discussion points.
That'd be the first reading of it, stuff, so.
The next one is what we talked about, was bringing it up for discussion. Same way, we don't have a recommendation, but over the last, I believe it was 12 years, we have over $40,000 in delinquent utilities. So that begs the question of, do we keep it going the same way, or do we need to start figuring out a way that utilities don't get turned on to a property until back utilities are paid?
And
Whether a tenant
Yeah.
lived there and moved, and the next tenant comes in, or we do bigger deposits, or the rental owner, property owner is responsible for that. That was the big discussion point.
And just for that amount spans over, you said 2012, probably goes back that far?
Like I said, we have some older ones in there
Older ones
too.
than that, so that.
Go back further than
Yeah,
that.
that spans a long time. It's not just lately, that amount is at that.
When Christie ran the numbers, there's 40,000 sitting in collections right now, 30,000 of which is due to renters.
So majority of it is, okay.
And that's, yeah, because when you're in town, you go to your next place, well, we're not gonna turn you on until you pay your past due. It's the people that are coming and skipping town and leaving with a bill on our door. So, that's what we wanted to open up for discussion. We had zero intention of any business being done, because I think all rental owners need to be invited to our next meeting to have a discussion about this, but
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to, increasing the deposit needed to, have utilities turned on to begin with. But
We
Well-
talked about that, and
Yeah.
that can get to be a lot to ask people that are coming into, take their rental, for example, they're coming
Yeah.
in and they've already gotta put, generally speaking, first and last month's rent up. And then if you make our deposit $500, that can get, the idea of doing that, we discussed that, and the more I thought about that particular part of it, the more I kinda thought that maybe we should find a way to secure the city's utilities without raising that initial deposit. And one of those was actually insisting on a deposit for renters. If, Cindy, you wanna step in here and explain that a little bit, how that is currently, but from my understanding,
Currently, all landlord properties that the landlords own, the landlord does not have to have a deposit on that property. The renter does, but the landlord does not.
And right now, the renter pays
$200
$200, okay?
if the property has both electric and water,
and that's for everybody, that's every residential,
for every residential account, yeah, except landlords.
And this would be a question I had for landlords. With regard to the deposit, how much of the deposit do they require? Is it a month? Is it 2 months?
it's probably case by case basis,
Yeah.
depending on the owner.
Okay. And I'm just more than a couple of sides to this, the renter safeguards their investment with regard to their house. And to what extent does the city want to safeguard the investment with regard to, or the investment of safeguarding the sale of the utilities? But I do remember, Will brings up the point that I do remember moving my daughter, and we thought we had everything kind of been set, and we go on up to City Hall and hook her up to electricity, and she wasn't really quite ready, ready for that too as well, but we still have, the city still has to do what it needs to do with regard to that, but if it would have been $500 or whatever, I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing that out and stuff, so.
Well, I don't know that you'd go to 500, but I wouldn't have a
No.
problem going to 3 anyway. Get you a little closer. As far as somebody mentioned that before you turn it back on, if it went into shut off, you'd go after the owner. I'll guarantee you, if you guys got hooked for, say, $700, $800, $900 in an electrical bill, I got screwed out of probably 2 months' rent too. So that's how they usually work. They get behind and
Well, we even talked about, it gets down to the point of shutting them off, getting a hold of the property owner / landlord and letting them know this is probably gonna happen. And maybe they can talk to them and say, hey, you need to get this paid. And plus, we don't wanna shut something off without the property owner knowing, especially in the wintertime.
well, they did that to me once.
Yes, I know they did.
That's
I know
one of the
that.
reasons I'm sitting here.
I know that happened to you, but that's
Because that guy
why,
was supposed to call me and didn't,
yes.
and froze my house up.
I think if you make it the property owner's responsibility at the end of the day, you then also raise the level of responsibility that the city has to the property owner to notify them in some reasonable time frame before you shut it off.
And then before we'd ever do that, we want to know the logistics behind that, if it's in the realm of our authority, you know. I'm just asking the question, just more or less to, before we move forward, we're gonna want to make sure that we do have the authority to notify the landlord, you know, with regard to under statute, anyway.
I think if you make that final bill technically be the responsibility of the property owner, it does give the city the right to inform
Absolutely.
that person. If they're the one that's gonna be responsible for that bill, the city absolutely has the right to inform
Yeah.
at whatever timely manner we think is appropriate.
I found about 15 different ways that 15 different cities do it, so there's no real clear cut. There's places that prepay for utilities, there's places that put liens on the property, there's ones that just do the collections, like which is our current standard is just if someone goes beyond, then we go to collections on them. It's just collections doesn't collect very often.
And
Well-
we don't get 100% of that.
Right, so it's bringing up the discussion point, because we have one conversation in our committee meeting, but we'd really like the input of the other 3 members
I would,
and invite everybody to the next meeting, but
I still lean towards increasing the deposit. I think that'd be the cleanest cut way of recouping some of that money that would go to collections, I guess. Even double it, go to 400 or,
and that's the balancing act of how much do you put on the people that are playing by the rules, just to get the people that aren't playing by the rules
Yeah.
to be within, because because a $400 deposit, it'd be very rough for a lot of people.
Yeah.
When they're first moving.
Would there be a way of just letting them make payments on that or something so that you wouldn't have to pay, say, if you said $400? You know, I get it that it would be an awful lot of money right off the top. And a lot of people don't make that kind of money.
That'd be a valid
So-
idea of spacing a deposit throughout.
Couple of
6
months, 3
months or
months.
whatever.
Yeah.
We're open to all ideas on this, just
Yeah.
to,
My thoughts on that are if they can't afford the utility bill, and we're speaking to trying to correct the demographic of people that can't or won't pay their utility bill. Starting that billing cycle off by already adding another chunk of a deposit to that, seems like you're just begging for failure there.
And we already do payment plans when they come to shut off status, which allows them to get further behind.
Right.
But by moving up the billing, the shut-off, that's going to help alleviate.
If you stick to that
If you-
being the day
yeah.
that you have to pay your
Yeah.
whole bill, by that point, it's 2 months' worth. Plus a $50 delinquency fine.
And I think and that's why I was putting it out for discussion, because to try to find the happy medium where we're appreciative to those who own property that are renting it out, to provide a dwelling place for those who are either here temporarily or maybe seek permanent residence here. But at the same time, but also maintain, the responsibility to the city. So it's kind of a balancing act. So, and I think that's why, as much input we can, or start the discussion. We started the discussion with the committee meeting, bringing the discussion further at this setting, and then,
we did talk about the deposit quite a bit, and we kind of glossed over it in this discussion, but I would like to bring it back up of going forward to people that are buying property and making them rentals. I still think it would probably help if the homeowner has a $200 deposit, or whatever we decide, a $200 deposit, and that just stays on the property. And then the person that is coming to rent that property pays their deposit, so then you have both the deposits on that property. The homeowner only has to pay that once, but then the tenant can get their deposit back if they leave in good standing, and they're bringing that in. And then we have a little bit bigger pot if someone skips out, then we have that deposit to come back on. I just wanted to bring that back up in discussion because we kind of glossed over it.
So are you saying that the landlord's deposit,
Stays on the property while they're owning it, but then the tenant also has a deposit.
To have the utilities
How
put in their
does-
name.
what-
That doesn't help you unless you access it.
right,
When I'm renting your house and I leave, they're gonna take you $200. If they don't take your $200, it don't do the city any good.
right.
It's
His
just there.
200 The $200 that the landlord puts down will just sit there.
Unless we need to access it to bring it current, if we don't want to.
Okay, so that's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It
So you're
turns-
saying essentially it's just,
Cost sharing to $400.
And,
So
yeah,
we
and
would
when-
potentially apply that 200 that the landlord has on the property to a tenant's account.
yes, but every time that there's a new tenant, the landlord doesn't get refunded that 200 and then have to give it back to the city.
Right,
If
just,
all the bills stay paid, the 200 that is from the landlord stays with the city.
But if tenant A skips out and you take his $200, when tenant B comes in, he's gotta throw another $200 up. That's what you're saying.
right, because.
My
Sounds to
200
me-
If my 200 left, and I gotta have 200 sitting there, if you took it to make that bill right, then I gotta re-kick in 200.
Yes, yes.
Because at the end of the day, if it doesn't get paid, everybody else that's paying their bill is paying for that back usage. So someone's paying, it's just whether or not it's the person that's attached to the property, or if it's the masses that are absorbing that cost. So, that's the
And
discussion
I-
point, and we can think about it, and we can bring ideas to the next point, but
But I mean, I think that it shouldn't, this isn't just a renter, landlord only scenario. I think if it's somebody that owns that piece of property and let's say they die and they're behind and the estate goes to sell that house, I think the city should have a lien to some extent on that piece of property as well before we turn the utilities back on, even if that house changes ownership. You know, I think the idea of writing off city utility bills needs to be, we need to be done with that, one way or the other.
because does collections count as a lien?
No,
It doesn't.
no.
I think you take it to small claims first, don't you? And then they'll take and
If
you put a lien on it.
somebody died, you could put a lien on the property though.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just you'd have to go through an attorney to do it.
Right, which a lot of times is gonna end up,
being more than what it's worth.
But you can do it through
and
small
sometimes might be,
claims.
sometimes it's just like $50 to put stuff on, but it's just. How much do you keep putting, how much do you keep spending on money that you may or may not get back?
It seems to me like when I was doing collections was with Mid-Dakota, I had to, it's been a while since I did it, but we would go to small claims, and when we'd win, then we could put a judgment on it, and then that would put the lien on it.
And then if it's ever sold, you get your money.
Right. Well, we'd be in line.
You'd be in line. Well, yeah, you might not get your money, but at least
Yeah,
you.
but at least you have
If there
more of a
was some
chance.
there, you'd get it.
And it wasn't as expensive doing it that way as going through an attorney. But it's not that hard to do. I know I've done quite a few way back when.
So it's small claims, if it's a property owner, and we're supposed to be charging surcharges every month.
Mhm.
With small claims, is there like a final amount cut off? Could it sit
Yeah,
there?
there would
Could
be-
that account set vacant for 10 years, not collecting surcharges, when that account was figured into our surcharge amounts?
We didn't have surcharges, but as soon as you collect on that person, that cuts it off and you don't go any further past that, the way we were doing it.
So
So,
like with
like
our-
say we had a tenant that skipped out and he had a big bill, okay? Well, then we stop billing him, you know, where we shut that off, and then it'd probably go to the property owner or whatever. Well, then, that's his responsibility from the time that he is delinquent. So then that would be what you'd take to small claims. But then you'd have a problem if the person skipped the country altogether and went someplace else too. If they go out of state, then
I'm
it's,
just wondering how we're gonna collect our surcharges.
well,
That would belong to the property owner. I
it's
thought
gonna
all
have to
this-
go back to the
I thought that
property owner
all-
or something if you're gonna keep it open.
If somebody wanted that put on their property, they're living in a different state, they're still responsible for that surcharge, aren't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
but if you're gonna file small claims on them, do you have to cut that off and not charge them anymore?
Well, with a tenant, they're already gone. They're
Not a
no longer-
tenant. I'm
The-
talking
The
property.
property owner, you would probably continue to charge your surcharges on them.
Even though you've filed small claims?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
because
so you
you're
can
going
continue-
after the tenant that didn't pay, is what
No,
I'm talking
Not
about.
the tenant, the property owner.
The
So if
property
house
owner.
got, repoed, or whatever you wanna say,
Yeah,
that would be kind of the thing, owner, but the owner skipped town. We had something similar just down the street here. I think they're back on now, but I mean, whoever, the bank or whoever paid that,
mm-hmm,
I think they had to pay some of that back stuff, but I think that's what you're referring to is, it's still sitting there and it's, you're supposed to pay this according to the ordinance.
yeah,
And it's very few scenarios, but,
mm-hmm,
I mean, they're out there, I guess is what she's getting at.
yeah. I
You're
see.
more talking the rent, the landlord's paying the,
I'm just talking like not a rental at all, like
Oh,
this is
okay.
a
Or
property.
somebody
Oh,
died.
okay. I
Somebody
thought- We were
died.
talking two totally different
Okay.
scenarios. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is just the owner of a house, they die,
mm-hmm,
the successors don't want to deal with it.
mm-hmm,
And we continue charging the surcharges month to month to month.
sure.
What do you do, like, if you're gonna file that to small claims, do you have to have a cutoff point, not charge them any more surcharges? You file that final amount,
Mm-hmm,
but at the same time, this house is still sitting vacant,
Yeah.
not sold, and we're not collecting surcharges.
so what happens like if there's a house that's just sitting vacant and, you know, nobody's owning it? Or like, or the old, you know, like, it's just sitting there. Are we charging surcharges if the water is shut off,
Yes,
even after
If it was
that?
hooked-
You have to get rid of the utility, get rid of the
you have to
surcharge.
cap
Right,
it.
okay,
Like, there cannot be, it's gotta be capped off the boulevard, and the meter socket's gotta be gone.
sure.
If it was ever hooked up with the new system,
They gotta do a hookup fee and all that again?
well, surcharges start and certain, they don't stop.
Right.
You can have a bare lot and it's stuff in the property you're paying off.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, because I just thought, once you shut off all the utilities, well, then the surcharges are not charged anymore.
No, they are charged because our loans and surcharge amounts were set based off a certain number of meters.
And we have a vested amount of interest in the underground infrastructure there. I mean,
Yes.
that's,
We can't just not collect surcharges and be able
Yeah.
to pay loans.
Yeah, so that would make it tricky with when you're doing an estate.
Yeah. I mean, like Dustin said, it doesn't happen very often in those cases, but. it's
I would more than
something to remember.
imagine if we're doing a small claims that you gotta set an end date.
See,
Automatic.
Right,
basically, when you do your small claims, you just cut off. You don't go any further past that, with that entity, whatever, that you're going after, so.
Well, I would think someone died, then someone come in, they put the house up for sale, someone wanted to come in and buy it, wouldn't it be up to their title search or whatever, no, hey, you gotta, this has gotta be paid by the
but if it's
seller.
not filed, it's not gonna show up.
That's right, and then
That's why you gotta file it.
but then it
If
would
you
be
file
on
it too
the,
soon,
but it's kinda
you
on
can
the,
sit there and you're not collecting surcharges.
the buyer is the one that really needs to, check out and make sure there isn't
Yeah, they have some
delinquent bills.
responsibility there.
Let the buyer beware.
I'd say to wrap up discussion for this week on it.
Yeah,
We have a cost expense that is habitually enough that it has accrued to, like I said, the 40,000, so I mean, it's
That's a
anywhere-
lot.
It's anywhere from 3 to 5,000 every year. So it's enough that we need to probably figure something out. Because it's just an expense that the taxpayers are paying that they really shouldn't be, so.
I think it was a good
I'd say-
awareness discussion too, and maybe some things thrown out there to, kind of feed off of as far as moving forward. Do you wanna make this motion as far as move up the shut-off day?
I'll make that motion
Okay?
I thought you had to do is.
to make
Well-
an
well-
ordinance.
We'll have to do
An
an ordinance
Ordinance, yeah,
Ordinance.
do an ordinance,
Okay.
okay,
with
very
the
good.
specifics and all that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
I
we
mean,
don't
I'll-
need a motion to start the ordinance,
I'll second it.
okay? Okay, motion is made, second to begin the ordinance process of moving up the shut-off day to a week after the second month, is that correct? Okay, discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. That was just more or less to proceed with the ordinance process, so. Anything else?
Make a motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Discussion? Motion made and second to approve the bills. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Discussion? Motion made and second to adjourn. We are adjourned.
Okay.
Thank you too, Cindy.